Jesse Collins. He's up here from Tennessee. He's got quite a background. We're going to get into that. Welcome to the studio, Jesse. It's good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you here, man.
Yeah.
A pleasure, man.
Yeah, it's been nice meeting you.
We met this evening, and this is a good dude, and he's going to tell you a little bit of his story, and we're going to kind of just link it all up. As we always do, we're going to start with a little musical interlude, and then we will be right back. So stay tuned, motherfuckers, and we will be right back with Jesse Collins.
That's right.
Out of
Memphis, Tennessee.
Earth.
That's right.
Earth.
Everywhere.
He's an earthling.
I'm
all
a
right.
nomad.
Here we go. We're going to do a little Tom McDonald.
I wish I wasn't fat.
I wish I wasn't gay.
I wish I wasn't black.
I wish that I was brave.
I wish with every candle on the cake that I could quit doing these drugs, but I can't and I'm afraid.
I wish that I was smart.
I wish that I was rich.
I wish it wasn't hard for me to grow up and forgive.
I wish that I could help.
I wish I wasn't sick.
I wish I was Tom McDonald. I'd be just like him.
I wish I wasn't sober. I miss it when the party wasn't over. Happiness was right around the corner. Every single night was like the best one of our lives. Now we're older. The good old days are out of reach. I wish that they were closer. I wish I wasn't anxious and I wish I could fast forward. And I wish that I could rewind, but they don't make that controller. I wish the nights were longer and I wish the days were shorter. And I wish that I could sleep enough to maintain my composure. I feel crazy. I wish that I was normal. I wish that I could kill myself but also be immortal. Take me to the oracle. I heard that time is borrowed. Can you give me back my yesterdays? I'll give you my tomorrows. Forget all of my morals and just live like I cannot remember sorrow. Before all of the tattoos and the cornrows, I was different, I was happy, I was calmer, I was young and full of hormones. Now I'm wishing for a time machine, I'd step into that portal and be gone.
I wish on shooting stars, or were they satellites? Maybe they were too far. Hey, ooh la la, I must have blown apart a million dandelions. Now they don't grow in my yard.
All right. We're back. That was a little bit of Tom McDonald, one of the favorites around here. Anyway, here we are with Jesse Collins, and we have a few things we're going to discuss this evening. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Jesse? We just met tonight, man, and you seem like a cool cat.
Yeah.
A good dude, man. I've enjoyed having you here, man.
Thank you. I enjoyed being here.
I don't open up the doors to a lot of people.
No?
But you were friends with Mr. Tracy, who he and I obviously go back quite a ways and have we have a colorful past. To say the least, and I think you probably do as well.
Yeah.
If you're hanging out with the likes of us.
Yeah. I mean, I guess when your best friends are from people you meet in prison, you kind of tend to have colorful past.
Yeah, and it was funny. I was talking to Tyler about that earlier. I said, you know what the funny thing is, man? Because I was going to go pick him up, and he's like, well, my homeboy's coming into town. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, I can, you can come pick me up and I'll come over. And I just tell him, where you're at. And I'm like, dude,
Didn't know.
And he's like, no, dude. He's like, dude, this guy was like, he's like, I trust this guy with my life. And I was like, listen, dog, that's all I need to hear. Yeah. Because I mean, from a dude like that to a dude like me, like if I tell you that about somebody, right?
Right.
You that's set in stone, right?
Absolutely.
Like, and so like when he tells me something like that about you, like I know right away. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I told him you can ask him. I said, dude, if you verify this dude, then hey man, it's all good. So, and you came over, man. We hit it off.
Yeah.
And it's cool, man. It's a pleasure to have you here, man. And I welcome you to my home, and I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
I feel like you're my homeboy. You came in and you looked at me and you said, I think I know you from somewhere.
You seem familiar.
And the same thing with you, man. Who knows?
Panic. Let's probably be where we know each other.
Well, who knows, man? We may have been jamming next to one.
I know we've probably been to at least one or two shows at the same time.
I would imagine we have. And you've mentioned names, and I think I could probably mention names that you would know as well. So it's a small community.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny, once you're family, once you're part of the good people, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Not only that, just being Wyoming as well. Like, what is there, 500,000 of us?
I think there's close to 6 now.
I love getting on a plane and people just being like, Wyoming. I've never met anybody from Wyoming.
Right.
It's just not very many of us.
I know one of the craziest experiences I had was coming back from prison and flying into Wyoming.
Yeah.
After spending that time in Southern California, dog. I
Culture
landed
shock.
in Salt Lake, man. Holy shit. I got off that flight, man. I was like, I've never seen so many white people before. I mean, it was crazy, man. And then landed in Casper, was even crazier, and then coming back here, man. I mean, it took me nights to even fall asleep because it was so quiet.
Is this where you grew up? Is
I was born in
home?
Alaska and I grew up here.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I left after high school for like it was a long time.
We all leave.
Came back.
Yeah. I
wanted to get out of here because I'd never known anything else. You know what I mean? I was like,
yeah. See, I was the opposite. I grew up moving around, so I grew up being pretty much a chameleon, just learning how to adapt everywhere. So I went to 15 different schools, I think, something like that.
Were you from a military family?
No, my dad was a construction. Have you ever heard of TIC, the industrial company based out of Steamboat Springs?
Right. So you guys moved all over.
He was with them when they first started, and so he was pretty high up with them, But so we pretty much would spend a year to 3 years
in
one place. If we were lucky, it'd be a couple years,
And then you're on the road again and going to a new.
My family decided that they wanted to keep the family together. They didn't want to like him travel and.
Yeah.
So while we were young, we moved around a lot. I went to high school, and started here in Green River, Wyoming, then moved to Miami, Florida, and then moved from Miami, Florida to Huntington, Tennessee, which is like a little town of 5,000 people. And then I hated Tennessee. That was my first exposure to like racism and like that side of the tracks, this side of the tracks,
right.
Because there's no black people in Wyoming. You know what I mean? We got Mexicans and natives. They're all the same. We're all the same pretty much here. It seems like, but there, I was exposed to. I just didn't like it. It just wasn't